What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another deck profile here on the channel. And today we're going to be talking about Sero. This character was really cool. I brought it to a 3-0 finish over on the Unfun Stuff webcam weekly event. If you're interested in that event, make sure you go and you check out Unfun Stuff. I have their page in the description, but you can go find them over on Discord, whether it be via my Discord or message Chris or whatever. You can go find them. These events are probably the biggest, some of the most competitive events that you can have on your weekly basis, and the price support is amazing. And so, yeah, we played Sero. This character was fun. He was a blast to play. I thoroughly enjoyed everything that was happening inside of the games. But the big thing about him, I'll move this a little bit. The big thing about him was he felt like I had to draw it. It felt like Sero won, where he needs a real big win conditions. I played the deck on order, as you can tell. And the big thing about him was it felt really good to sling cardboard with him, but it was a little rough when I drew cold. I felt like I couldn't really play out of it. I just had to play like really tight basics. So, Sero, here's the elevator pitch for him. He says, if you interact with me, I turn all of my moves into +3 speed and then draw a card. And then twice per turn, my turn, your turn. Commit one foundation, you commit a foundation. Feels really good on your opponent's turn for me to commit one and then you to commit one. He's really a best while ahead type character. And there's some tricks of while I have some committed, while I'm not, if I commit a card, I do a bonus thing, and so like there's some neat stuff there. So let's talk about the attack up. So I'm playing the order build, and so the best single kill condition that I have, and the reason that I killed anybody today was really indiscriminate shock. The plan was I play a poke, they can't deal with it, and then I give this thing 3 speed, 1,000 damage because it has stun, an additional stun, and then he has stun 2 across the 2 cards. So as long as I sell out on my board, I can make this a 6 low, exceptionally easy, draw a bonus card, and make it for 1,000 damage. Card's great. It's how I kill people. If I saw one in my opening hand, I had to hold it in my opening hand for the entire game until I found my spot to go in. Card's very, very good. Up next, we've got the second reason to play the character, and that is Searing Glacial Storm. This card, the entire goal, the thought process behind the deck was, hey, this commit, for them to commit is really good if they have less foundations. Let's make them have less foundations. So put them to 5 and then whatever. It ended up not really being what happened today because I was always so ahead of them because of how good the order symbol is at building. I always felt like I wanted to just stun them, make this a 2 high for 6. Hey, this is super easy blockable. Please block this thing. And then they blocked it, so this thing auto's got the speed. Anytime this card hit, I actually kind of felt bad. I was like, it got me a little closer to the win of the game, but I kind of wanted you to block it. So there it is. Next, we've got the next easily blockable, the next 2 damage move, and that is Grasping Tape Toss. Stun 1, not blocked, throw. This was really good, forced you to block bait, so then my next move was really good. This card was just all over the place. And it said that if you happened to fight the way that my character works, if you go to deadlock, I will spin back your 2 foundations and then commit an extra one. So this card by itself, this combined with my character gets to answer 4 foundations on their board, 2 of them which being selective. So beautiful deadlock hate. Probably would side at 4th if I had sideboards for this. Up next, triple setup strike. This card was exclusively for if I didn't think my opponent was going to attempt to block for the indiscriminate shock, I would go setup strike into the indiscriminate shock and guarantee that this happened. If they ever blocked the setup strike, though, I got to do it truthfully. I never got to saw this card during the day. I think it's fine. I think it's great. Probably should have been something else. I couldn't tell you what it is right now, but like this card felt fine. Probably could be a 2 of and then replaces for another Grasping Tape Toss that was more relevant. Play around with it, mess around with it, and see what's up. It was also one of our big momentum outs. Second last attack, big flow card is Tape Stream Jab. This kind of was 3 more copies of Setup Strike. Honestly, I probably wish I would have had, instead of the Setup Strike, should have been another Tape Stream Jab. It's only 4 damage, and that sucks because like it's the world's worst poke, but it's a incredibly fast card that redraws for with Sero's ability. It felt very good, and you made it a low zone, and you make it low so that if they decide to block it, full block it, your indiscriminate shock is a little more potent. And then the last attack that we're playing is 4 Electric Jolts. This is the main reason I wanted to play the card. First and foremost, it's insane being able to selectively commit foundations and then use Sero to commit more foundations, so I wanted to play the order symbol here. We could have played air as well and done a lot of similar things, but I like the foundation lineup on order better. And being able to flip and selectively commit their stuff is super good. And then lastly, I've got the regional ones, and so I just wanted to show them off in a deck at some point. So there's the attack lineup. All in all, the attack lineup is a little suspect. It needs one more big win condition to the point where I probably would have not played these in the main board. And you can't even see these a little bit. I wouldn't have played these in the main board, but I would have played tape swing, so that as I stockpile my momentum, because nobody really wants to block me, I just slam a bunch of damage that you can't really deal with. It's just a bigger, crazier throw. And if they do happen to block it, my next will get speed and then damage. So, yeah, this deck's fine. Deck's fine. You have to play really solid UFS if you don't see the indiscriminate, and so just like be prepared for it. Onto the actions and assets. We're playing one action, and that is Blood Curdle. Probably should belong in the sideboard, but I don't make sideboards for these decks, and I didn't want to just get blown out by a Kirishima and just like not have fun. Get blown out by a Nomu and not have fun. And so I was like, I'll put the one Blood Curdle in. And truthfully, it did come into play. I played against Sero 1 in the event, and I was like, I've got very slow attacks, so I'll just commit your character, and then I'll sling the moves. You don't get to rip a card out of my hand. It was very, very good. And then lastly, same thing with Ultra Compressed Weights. I don't play sideboards, and so I'm probably in all of these events I'm going to try one Ultra Compressed Weight to stop Ochako, to stop a lot of things that exist. As well as, I mean, there's so much readying that happens. There's so much readying. There's so much card pool clearing that, like, this card just probably should just exist at a one of anything that's not deciding to sideboard. Really just depends on the other options that you have. So onto the attacks. We'll go through the attacks foundations, flow disruption. The aggro cards that we have are Creepy Realization. It says commit, your move gets +1 or -1 for each stat. This card did come in as an aggro card a little bit, but with us clearing our own card pool, it felt a little okay. It was very mid. The best part about this card was it was also defense, which is why we also have the forced self-sacrifice. This card was a little bit more aggro, but it was also just like really primarily like just a good defense card. Destroy one of my committed foundations, probably one that I committed off of my face, and then get the +1. So it's like essentially I can combo with a gotcha for +1 speed, commit 1, +1 damage, and that feels pretty okay. So +1/+1 stun 1. It's all right. It's all right. And the other big aggro card, and the one that actually mattered, was Heroic Lineage. I should have been playing for this card. My character in Haley gives speed, +3 speed, so +3, and then I would just like slam 2 of these and be like, hey, you can't block this. It's got the bonus speed. Commit bonus resources, do the stuff, and then this would just push over for just enough. I had nobody really play into this card for defense, and so that's why I'm feeling so confident on it as an offensive tool. There definitely should have been a fourth copy in the deck. Card's very, very good. On the flow, reason we're playing the order symbol, you get to draw cards, baby. We get to draw cards, especially with things like calling for backup, turn into a face down, use Sero, commit my face down, you commit 1. So now it's draw 1, stun 1. That feels great. There's not much to say about it. You probably, as cards come out, can drop it down to a 3, maybe a 2 of, but like having more resources available to you as a 6 ansatz character is very important, which is why we're playing triple passing the torch. MVP of the deck today. I had to have resources in my hand. I had to dig for attacks because I had to find strings. I had to make things threatening enough to make it happen because half of my character doesn't work half the time. If you decide not to block me, yes, I did 4, 5, 6 damage to you, but I don't get to draw that bonus card. I don't get to put speed on the thing that matters. And so being able to force out these strings by committing and redrawing is very good. And we got to reuse our passing the torch with the best foundation, one of the best foundations in our deck. We're playing 3 of this card. Yeah, this card should have been for this triple requesting assistance. Yeah, we should have played 4 of this for sure. This card's incredible exclusively with passing the torch. Just saying, yo, I get to snag bonus resources. It's also a 0 diff, but we're playing a ton of spam, so I get why my initial thoughts were that we weren't. Like tape. Moving on to some defense. Flip, mid attack becomes slow. Flip, make it a mid. Once it is flipped, you can then commit it to do the stuff. So, hey, make this mid attack slow, stun 1. It's a good exchange rate. It's pretty good. Best defensive card in the deck is Gotcha. So not only is it amazing stun deterrent because you commit any of them and then they reduce the speed, you also just get to do it on your face. So it's almost like a defense disruption kind of card. But the other thing that you get to do is you also get to use this on offense as well. I'll commit this, you'll commit 1+1 speed. That might be just over the threshold to make them not want to block something like your indiscriminate shock. And so this card has to be a 4 of. It's almost like this is not a Sero 1 card, it's actually a Sero 2 card. This card is so good for this character. Defense, we're also playing Triple Bonds of Friendship, as I throw my cards everywhere. Triple Bonds of Friendship, it's just a good block card. 1/6, 1 high block. It saved me one match versus a Texas Smash. Like, yo, you gotta find one more. And like, that felt cool, that felt good. All in all, as soon as we get better tools for 1 diffs, good high blocks under the order symbol, this card's just gonna, oh, I'm sorry. We're playing 4 of it. I missed one. We're playing 4 of Bonds of Friendship. As soon as we get better tools, this card's out of here. It's just really good for the block. Onto some disruption, which is the main point of my deck, and which is probably why I was having such an issue with killing people. It's because the disruption, I've got a big pile of disruption cards, and the first one, nice and easy, is for Desperate Times. If you draw a card, I flip it, you commit a foundation, I use Sero, I commit, and you'll commit another one. So if you draw a card for every 1 Desperate Times, you essentially get to commit 2. So if you have multiple Desperate Times on board, you just get punished so exceptionally hard. The big card that I wanted to try out, Drowning in Resentment. I think this card is one of the most slept on cards in the format exclusively because of Back Alley Haymaker. Response flip, after a card leaves a discard pile due to your rival's non-character effect, Back Alley Haymaker, building in your 0 diff, you flip and you stuff their card pool on their turn. This combined with Sero being able to commit cards, it was exceptionally good. The only issue is that this character hard loses to it can't be fixed. And so as we are throwing cards into their card pool and we want to use this for the thing that they built down lets them rebuild another foundation. And so our character says that, yeah, I stuffed you 1, but I built you 2. And that is a bad exchange rate. And that really hurts. And then my next disruptive card is Dissolving the Conflict. This card is insane. You should be playing it at a 2 of in every deck that can play it. This card, if my opponent checked well on the last kill turn, I had 12 foundations because I hit a big reset. And they decided to play with 5 foundations, and so I kept them down very low. And they kept trying to rebuild and buy back cards versus as All Might 2. And if they would have checked a 5 on their 4th card, trying to check a 7, they'd have committed the last 2 cards, and I would have just dissolved the conflict and put that card back in their hand and say, hey, try one more time for me. Hey, one more attempt at it if you could. And they could not have passed it. It was not possible because this card single-handedly said, you don't kill me this turn, which is an incredible use for this card. You got to save it until the right moment, and sometimes it does get played around, but this card sometimes is just like a kind of a bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card. This card feels exceptionally good. I think 3 might have been too many. I probably actually should have done an extra Drowning instead just to try out the card more, because it also has a little bit of defense, a little bit of aggro, but 3 of this card certainly, or one copy of this card certainly saved me tonight. And then my last card, Double Fruits of Our Labors. Really good in the mirror match, right? I never wanted to use this for the response or the enhance ever. I only ever wanted to use it as the form. The biggest way to beat this Sero deck is to go to Deadlock. It's just play out as many foundations as we can, which is why I'm trying to play the 2-check wherever it happens to be. Doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, we're trying to play the 2-check to put you back down to that 5. But if I don't find that card and I have this card, there was at one point where I had both of them out on my board and my opponent was at 13 foundations, and they had like 4 cards in their hand. They were going to have 4 cards in their hand going into my turn. Sadly, they killed me, but the turn that I was going to go in, I was going to be like, hey, slam those back into your stage. It's more damage for my indiscriminates, right? And I get to now commit these to use them for Sero. And this card then says that you don't have a hand to block my indiscriminates. I just get to kind of kill you for free. And so this card feels exceptionally good, and you could probably sideboard the 3rd one if you need to. So with that, this deck is genuinely fine. I think Sero is not seeing a lot of competitive play, but one of the most fun kitchen table My Hero decks that I have played in a long time. He really is. He's got big Sero 1 energy, thematic, where he has to kind of wait to find the things that he's doing. If you liked the deck and you want to give it a shot, make sure you go and you go support unfunstuff.com. Use code TamCard at checkout in order to get 5% off of your order. this deck's rad, and I'd love to play you guys over on these Unfun events. Make sure you go and you check them out at the Unfun Discord. Come play me as I play some super fun deck. So with that said, you guys, thank you much for hanging out. Thank you for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. And with that all said and done, I wish you well.